Event planning benefits and perks. We've previously touched on ethical considerations that relate to meeting and event planning. For the most part, accepting perks yourself rather than on behalf of your client or organization can put you on shaky ethical ground. Perks that may be offered to you personally might include planner points, programs, fam trips, and gifts. Although some industry experts advise against accepting any of these things ever, others encourage you to make the assessment of whether the perk or gift is out of line with the value of the contract. In the end, if you feel like you're being bribed or paid off, you are, and it's up to you to make an ethical decision and refuse the payoff. Making unethical decisions may hurt your marketability in the event planning industry. If the word gets out that you are padding your income by accepting perks and taking your family on fam trip vacations to resorts you don't intend to use professionally, your credibility can be diminished greatly, thus limiting your client base. One way to avoid awkward issues with the giver is to graciously accept the perk and use it to add value to your VIP package, show appreciation to your client, or award and recognize team members who went above and beyond. Regardless of how you decide to handle planning perks and bennies, here are some common ones you are likely to be offered. Fam trips. We always advise planners to take a tour of their chosen venues before finalizing any contracts, but fam trips or familiarization trips can be a slippery slope. The reality is you can almost always get your familiarization work done in a day at any one venue. Before accepting a 3-night suite accommodation with free meals and spa treatments, golf course passes, and a 5-star personal treatment, ask yourself if you really plan to use that venue and if you really need all that pampering to make your decision. In some cases, you just might. For example, if the event is an on-property training program for hotel managers, you would want to know that the venue offered every conceivable service and was the best in the business. In this case, it would be highly appropriate for you to enjoy the perks while you evaluate their suitability for the event's purpose. Gifts. We advocate that you gift your venue and supplier point people, key players, etc. at the end of an event to thank them for your services. We also believe that treating all of your attendees and presenters like VIPs is an excellent practice. Conversely, it's fine for your venue and suppliers companies to give you a thank you gift for your business. Just make sure that the gift isn't out of line. If you booked a 200 guest 3-day conference at a venue, the gift of a daily fruit basket, bottle of wine, and maybe a $200 gift card is fully appropriate. The gift of a 5-day all expenses paid family trip to the Bahamas is a bit of overkill. Convention and Visitor Bureau Planners Points. Some CVBs have programs that offer the planner prizes for booking events, venues, and services through the CVB. These benefit programs are typically based on a point accumulation system in which the planner receives credit points for each booking that can be redeemed for anything from electronics to jewelry and cameras to travel vouchers. Accommodation booking commissions and perks. Many hotels offer a commission to planners that book groups or room blocks. For example, if you book 10 rooms at $200 per room for 3 days, you could earn a commission of between 5 and 15% typically, and this could amount to $900 of cash in your pocket. You have to ask yourself if you've earned this commission. If the answer is yes and your client agrees, then enjoy it. Hospitality perk packages. Some hotels and convention centers offer perk packages based on the number of nights you book or attendees you anticipate. Hotels are often very bold about their benefits to planners and actually listing the items you'll receive for doing business with them, i.e. cash towards airline tickets, gift cards, and spa treatments. Again, it's standard practice for meeting planners to be put in a nice room with a gift basket and a bottle of wine, but there may be a point at which the packages are just over the top. A typical perk package offered by hotels that shouldn't pose any ethical issues because it benefits you, your client, and your staff and attendees looks something like this. $50 food and beverage and retail shop and spa credits, 25% off conference center booking packages, room type upgrades, additional comp rooms, special room rates for client staff, waivers on standard resort fees, waivers on standard parking fees, no attrition fee, and no cancellation fee. Planner Association and Destination Management Company perks. If you use one of the many organizations or companies dedicated to using their considerable buying power and long-term relationships with certain properties, you can expect to receive the benefit of booking assistance and perhaps deeply discounted rates. In most cases, these perks do not incite any ethical concerns. This is simply a good business practice. However, if these same companies offer you personal perks, these smack of buying favor and should be considered wisely. Again, you can choose to accept the perk and pass it on at any point you have such concerns. Vendor wooing perks. Caterers, AV suppliers, talent agencies, and speakers bureaus sometimes actively woo their potential clients by sending them gifts that may include goodie baskets, flowers, tickets to sporting events, etc. Many of these are impossible to return and fall soundly into the category of influence buying. To some degree, you can avoid these uncomfortable issues by telling all vendors that you do not accept gifts or only accept small gifts after you've done business with them. Again, if you can't avoid that gift elephant in the room, share it with others and notify both your client or boss and the gift giver that you have done so. Trade show inducements. As a planner, you may go to industry trade shows where venues and services compete to sell attendees on their property or company. It is common practice for the staff at these booths to use inducements to get and keep your attention. Ethically, you need to tell them before you leave the booth if you plan to use them at any time in the near future, but that you have a gift-free company policy. Social invitations. In some cases, you'll be invited to attend private parties that are not part of an organized industry event. If you know many of those invited and some are your personal friends, no problem. If you feel that this invitation is predicated on a plan to do some behind-the-scenes business and favor garnering, you probably want to decline. When trying to determine if perks and bennies are appropriate or not, Nan DeMars, author of You Want Me to Do What?, advises planners to pay attention to the two qualities of what she calls the pit in the stomach rule. 1. Consider the word uncomfortable. If you feel in the least bit personally uncomfortable by such an acceptance, don't do it. 2. Consider the word compromised. If you feel in the least bit compromised by such an acceptance, don't do it.